The city of Whitnum, Australia, is a city in the northeast of Australia, which is very sparsely populated, and that's why Whitnum is the largest city here, which has more than 2,000 people in it, and this indicates that the northeast of Australia is sparsely populated. If you visit this city today, you will come across an abandoned city and you will not find a single person there. And even if you visit the list of Australian cities, there is no mention of the Australian city of Whitnum, and it has been removed from the list. Now, why did the people of this city leave? And why is no one found there? Because here is cancer, and the soil is carcinogenic, the air is carcinogenic, the water is carcinogenic. And that's why this city is called the Chernobyl of Australia. Please like this video before watching the rest of the video. But what happened to this area? The story is that 100 years ago, a mine was found in this area, and a company called CSR got the privilege of operating this mine and came here to start working. But because this mine was very far from the city, it was within 10 kilometers. They are building a village in this mine for the employees to live there. They do this and call the place Viet Nam. Slowly, a big village is formed where all the people work in that mine. After some time, it comes out of the village and becomes a city that has everything. We reach 1940 is the year when the rumor of this city spread all over Australia. At that time, Australia was a sparsely populated country, and there were not many jobs. It is said everywhere that a city that offers both jobs and a small house. That's why many people go to this city. The stones that were harvested from this mine were blue in color and not only had a good appearance, but were also very useful because these stones were good sound and heat insulators, and people used to put them between their walls so that the house would not get too hot. And even the city school was built with these blue sands. But people did not know that these materials are actually asbestos. Asbestos is a very toxic substance for both humans and animals. And the asbestos of this mine was not ordinary asbestos. It was blue asbestos, which is the most toxic type of asbestos. If you take the asbestos particles under a microscope, they look like broken glass and enter the body through breathing. And because the particles enter the lung tissue, it causes irreparable damage to the human body, which in the long run destroys the lungs. First, it starts with breathing problems. Then, dry cough causes shortness of breath. And eventually, the lungs fail. And it is interesting to know that scientists gave this warning, but no one listened. At that time, asbestos was an abundant and expensive material that was a good insulator against sound and temperature, so no one was willing to give up. Now that we know asbestos, let's go back to the city. He enters this city when Dr. Saint gets off the plane. He says that this city is terrible, and he saw from the sky that there is a dust of asbestos in the air. He goes to the CSR company and says, I will stop you, and you are killing these people. When he returns from this city, he writes a complaint to the Australian government. Years later, they ask Dr. Saint if you were the only one who knew that asbestos was harmful. He says no, everyone knew, but it was good for the government. No one cares what Dr. Saint says. Until 5 years later, a doctor named Jim McNulty enters this city. This doctor also says that this city is the worst place in the world, and this doctor also goes and complains. You should know that asbestos cannot be removed from the lungs in any way, and it always remains in the lungs and causes a cancer called mesothelioma, which has no way to be cured. They are suffering from this cancer, and they have no cure. Dr. McNulty makes a lot of noise and even calls the government, but the CSR company was so influential that the news did not reach the people of this village. We go to 1966, the year when this mine will be closed, of course. not for the health of the people of this city, but because of the economic recession. When this mine is closed, there will be no more jobs in this city. And that's why half of the city will leave, and the rest will not be told to leave. Otherwise, you will die. Finally, in 1978, they say that everyone should leave here because it is deadly. But most of them are healthy. Most of them get this cancer and die one by one. They wish to die because asbestos hurts them. In 2006, the government ordered to cut off the electricity to Whitnum and said, "This place is no longer a city, and the name of this city will be removed from the map and signs." But the asbestos powder is still there, and it is interesting that thousands of tons of asbestos, it is stored there and placed in the open air. Scientists have researched that if the lands there are not cleared, the wind will take the asbestos to other cities. But the Australian government does not listen. Thank you for watching the video till the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.